motivation is what? Is the love for Allah. And a Muslim has to have all three: fear, hope, and love. There is no Muslim if he is not afraid, if he has no fear. You have to have fear. Allah says His orders it. فَلَا تَخَافُوهُمْ وَخَافُونِ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Don't fear them, but fear me, if you are believers. If you really have love Allah, and you know Allah, you have also hope, because you know Allah describes Himself as a merciful God in the Quran. But maybe my feeling, maybe the most or the strongest motivation is love for Allah. Why? Because in our experience we see that a person who loves something, he is later on very good in his special field. For example, I was a professional boxer, and I saw a lot of professional boxers. Always, as long as they love this sport, by the way, this sport is haram, but I just mentioned it as an example. Always when you meet people who love this sport, they were able to be good in this sport. But later on, maybe they became world champion or German champion or whatever. But later on, when they did it just for money, they lost. It's always like this. For me, another example from myself, my own experience, I was learning in the school French. Today, I don't know any, I know some words French, but I forgot almost everything. Why? Because I didn't like this language. But at the same time, at this time, I learned, for example, Portuguese, and I knew later on, Portuguese I learned myself at home. I knew more Portuguese than French later on. Okay, now I also forgot it because my love is now with Arabic more. But it's just the example. You are always able to do or to be a very good person in a field if you love it. So you have to think, when you really love Allah, it will give you, first of all, it will lead that you do more good deeds, the quantity. Secondly, it will make your deeds better, more khushu. If you try to stay in the prayer and tell yourself, I'm now with my Lord, and I'm thinking about that I love my Lord more than anything else. Believe me, you have more khushu, more humbleness, more consciousness in your prayer. And the third is that you abstain from bad deeds. Look now, I give you a way to make da'wah with non-Muslims. For example, often a non-Muslim comes to you and he says, you know, you have to be afraid of your God, you have to have fear and so on. Or he says, first of all, that's our religion. If you don't like it, that's your problem, not my problem. You know what Allah ordinates for the people, we have to take it. But often they come and say, you Muslims, you have to wear hijab, and you have to have a lihya, a beard, and you have to pray, and you have to do, and you're not allowed to eat pork, for example. They say it like this, they come like this. And a lot of you come from non-Muslim countries, a lot of you have people in their work from who are non-Muslims, and they say like this, I say we can see it from another perspective. If you say to me, you have to wear hijab, I can say, no, I see it from another perspective. I don't say I have to wear, I love to wear hijab, because my Lord loves that I wear hijab, and I love to do what my Lord loves me to do. If he says you are not allowed to eat pork, you say, no, I see it from another perspective. I love to abstain from pork because I know that my Lord does not like me to eat pork. Because especially with people from the West, they have this attitude, you know, I'm from the West, I'm from Germany. They have this attitude. They think, you know, the best life is a life without obligations and without forbidden things. Then you have the total freedom. You can do whatever you want, you know. But it's not like this. For example, when you have a wife, you like to do something. You like maybe she comes to the airport, she arrives at the airport at night. It's hard, you have to wake up now, but you love to go to the airport and pick her up because you love her. So if somebody comes and says, yeah, obligations and forbidden things in Islam, you say, we love to do it. And this is really, this is the haqiqah. We have to love what Allah gave us as obligation or forbade us. This is really like this. This is also a very serious matter. Allah says in the Quran, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ أَبْغَدُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأَحْبَتَ أَعْمَالَهُم. This is, he says about the non-Muslims, about the people who reject this message. He says this is because they hate what Allah has revealed. So He destroyed their deeds, their good deeds. Subhanallah. Now, of course, the question is, how can we strengthen our love for Allah? This is the important question. Because you want to go out today here, and believe me, you know, I want that everybody of us goes out here and tries to improve. Tries to improve. Not we come today to Salatul Jummah, and later on we have heard something, oh, it was good, or it was not so good, and then we go out and we don't change. We have always to improve. We have to improve ourselves. So you're here today, you have to love Allah. So ask yourself, you know your own deeds. We have all problems, we have all mistakes. I have mistakes, you have mistakes, everybody has mistakes. Even the most God-fearing Muslim on earth, he makes mistakes. Because the Prophet said, كُلُّ بَنِي آدَمْ خَطَاءً وَخَيْرُ خَطَئِينَ تَوَّابُونَ. Every son of Adam, and this includes the women also, makes mistakes, and the best people from those who make mistakes are those who come back to Allah, who make tawbah. So let's improve today, and I give you some examples how we can improve, strengthen our love for Allah. The first thing is the knowledge about Allah, because it's a condition for loving something that you know it. If you don't know it, you cannot love it. How you can love something you don't know it? If I ask you, for example, yes, it's maybe not a question among Muslims, but maybe among non-Muslims. Why are you loving your wife? A Muslim would not ask this question, but for example, just example. And you say, I don't know. I say, yeah, why you love your wife? I don't know. What's your wife like? What's her skin color? I don't know. What's her name? I don't know. What's her size? I don't know. I say, you're crazy, you have no wife. So you have to know, when you say you love Allah, you have to know His attributes, you have to know His characteristics. And these characteristics you learn from the Quran. For example, some people, you see immediately they don't know Allah. One time, a friend of mine, he's a Muslim, Arab Muslim, in Germany. He said to me, you know what? I'm a good Muslim. I have only one small problem. Small. Women. He means zina. A'udhu billah. It's a small problem. And he say, yeah, for this sin I have to stand straight before Allah one day. SubhanAllah, this guy thinks he has to do it with a bouncer or something like this. Yeah, I have to stand straight before Allah. That means he does not know Allah really. One time, a woman, she studied Christianity in Germany. It's not about Christianity, you know, it's just about what the people have in their mind. She said, after tsunami happened, she said, you know, when I meet God on the last day, you know, He has to be careful. A'udhu billah. That means they don't know Allah. They don't know Allah. And a lot of people, ask some young Muslims today, ask them, who is your Lord? Describe me your Lord. Of course, some people, alhamdulillah, Islam, the Quran gives you the best message. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. But some people, they don't really know. They don't implement this in their life. Now, the Quran calls, and the first word from the Quran is what? Iqra. That shows that the knowledge is one of the most important things in the religion. The Prophet ﷺ, he always was teaching the people. And Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء. Really, the people who will fear Allah, or the only people who fear Allah, are those who have knowledge. So we have to get knowledge. And I give you one advice, one really good advice, and I saw it works. Please, a lot of you don't speak Arabic, but it doesn't matter. Take a good translation of the Quran in your language. It's not everything, it's the meaning of the Quran. But take this and read it from the beginning to the end. Read it from the beginning to the end. Even Bilal Phillips, you probably know him, he sent before often here. He said that a lot of people just from reading the Quran became Muslims. And I saw the same thing with my own eyes. If you read the Quran, even in your own language, believe me, he has such a power. The meanings of the Quran, it will improve your love for Allah. But because there is no book on earth where the Almighty Lord is described like He's described in the Quran. So try this, and to what will lead this? This will lead that you become better, that you will become stronger in your love for Allah. And we know the people who were strong in their love for Allah, like the Salaf, the first 3 generations of Islam. These people had so much love for Allah that even the lions were afraid of them. There are karamat, miracles, that a lion shows them the way. But today, unfortunately, we have the impression that even the mice are now not afraid of us, but we are afraid of mice. We have this impression. Sa'id ibn Jubair, one of the great mufassirun of the Tabi'un, the 2nd generation, a student of Ibn Abbas, he was ordered from the ruler at this time, a tyrant, to give a special fatwa against Islam. And this ruler was famous, or what famous? You know, he will kill the scholar if he does not say what he wants him to say. He will kill him. I mean, no, he will kill him like a sheep. He will chop his head off. Imagine, this guy, if you don't do what he say, he will chop your head off. It's scaring, isn't it? You know what Sa'id ibn Jubair said to him? Look, this attitude, because he know his Lord. He knew his Lord. What did he say? He said, if I would believe that you give life and death, I would worship you. This is what he said to him, subhanAllah. This is the attitude you get when you improve, you strengthen your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the knowledge. So I give you the advice, read this Quran, and also in this center, there are a lot of lessons, a lot of durus that you can also come to this durus in this center and take part in it, inshallah. وقولوا قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعد نبينا محمد وعلى آله